Hello, good evening, everyone. So, today I am so excited because this is going to be my first episode of podcast. To begin with, I would like to say something before we start off. So, podcast and YouTube, it's been something that I've been wanted to do for so long, and I really want to make it happen. But the hardest thing to do is to start, right? But I guess happening right now, and I hope I can release this record to you guys. And if you are listening to it right now, like say cheers to me. I made it. Yeah, so basically today, the first episode, I'm going to talk about myself a little bit, my background and my educational background, like what I'm doing right now, and the most important question that I would like to share with you all is that how did I learn English? So that's probably one of the reason why I do it in English and I'm speaking English right now because like in my life I got asked a lot that like how did you learn English? Like where did you learn English? Like did you study abroad? Blah blah blah. I was like, no, like I really want to share my experience. How did I learn English and all of that stuff to you guys just to make sure that this place or this space will be a small community for you guys to practice and to be able to like overcome your fear and you like no matter where you are, no matter what you do, just know that you can get into this like community and have an access to feel secure and to feel confident to speak English in our society because I know that it's been hard for us to learn English, to study English, and to be able to speak English confidently. Because first of all, we speak Thai in our country and we have our own language. That's why it's really tough for us to be able to speak English. And yeah, and learning language is not just language itself, but also you have to get to know the culture, you have to get to know people, you have to be with it. So that's how you can learn well. So I'm gonna share something about my journey, how have I been learning English, and also some tips that I think is really important. It's like useful for you guys. So let's start off with myself a little bit. So basically, right now, if you don't know me, my name is Pung and it's in Thai, so basically gonna be hard for like some foreigners to pronounce, but that's okay. And I am 23 years old. I live in Thailand, which is my home country. And now before I have been living in Bangkok for a while, and through my study in the university, I have been living in Bangkok. But at the moment, I am in my hometown in the south of Thailand and just so far so good. I don't know. Yeah, so that's basically about myself. So let's jump into my study. So when I was in kindergarten, I studied like in the small school in my hometown and until I finished elementary school. And next, I moved to study at Hat Yai Vichayalai 2 school, which is a little bit far from my hometown. And I've been there for 6 years, so all my preschool and high school, I've been studying there. And my high school, I studied math and English program. So I think that's when I get to study English more and more. So just so you know that studying English in our country in the educational system, like fundamental educational system here in Thailand is not as you thought before. It's something that not so serious or the environment to learn it's not well created for students to be able to speak English, and it's not fun. They focus on grammar and they care about our score. They care about like will we be able to entrance to the university and things like that. So that's why I think learning English in the educational system here in Thailand is not gonna be working. and I have like something in my mind that I want to talk about that and to change something about that. But it's a bigger thing I could do. Like I don't think I could do anything, but maybe in the future or if like I get bigger. But for now, that's why I do this podcast just to create a small space for you guys to practice English together and to be able to get an access to the real environment or like real community to feel safe and to feel secure to speak English. And nowadays not that hard anymore. So yeah, so that's about my high school. And after I finish high school, I haven't thought before that I'm gonna study something about like language or whatever, because I focus on like mathematics at that time. But then I just found out at the very last moment that okay, I gave up about like being an accountant or like learning about finance, like economics, those stuff, because I feel like I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. And yeah, like at the end of the day, back then, I feel like I don't like mathematics anymore. So that's why I'm like my focus was shifted. And then I focus more on language. I think yes, I'm gonna go for language. I'm gonna go for something that's more like worldwide or like globally. I don't know what to say, but yeah. So after that, I have been reading a lot and I've been studying so hard to be able to get into the university that I wanted to at that time. And actually I did it because guys, like believe me, I've been studying so hard and I'm not good at English back then. Like I need to read to remember vocabularies, like to learn all by myself. And yeah, it's really been like it's been a tough journey as well, but I think that's the most strong foundation that I have done into like put so much effort into learning English or like learning language basically. So at that time it was the beginning of everything. And then I got into the university that I wanted to, and I studied linguistics, which is not the major that I wanted to get in at first. I wanted to study English major, but then it was so competitive back then. And I gave up again. And also, I think that, you know what, like, I don't want to learn just about English anymore. I want something more diverse. I want something more varied. So, I thought about like studying the third languages at that time, the third language, like French or Spanish or things like that. But I haven't had like any background about those languages before, except for French. I studied French for one semester, but it means nothing. And then I was like, okay, my friends was in the major of linguistics already, and back then I didn't even know like what my future will be, like which major will I be in or things like that. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, it's interesting. I will try this major, and then I like it, and I did a great job. So I think maybe I found myself, and I enjoy learning back then about linguistics, about culture, about language, not just about English, because linguistics we learn the language in general, like we learn language scientifically or things like that more. So yeah, it's been fun and it's been a great journey about my major as well. I really like it and I didn't regret anything that I have done back then. I studied so hard, and what's funny is that this makes me realize something. When I was in the first year of the university and I didn't get into the major yet, because basically first year we study like class in general. We haven't had any like specific major yet. So I was in an English class, like the first class, like things like that. And then I found out that, oh my God, like why everybody's here is so smart. They're so good at English. They speak like so fluent. And I was like, what am I doing here? Oh, actually not like an English class in general. It was literature, English literature, because okay. I just remember. Yeah, because at first I tried to enter to the English literature major. So it turns out that it was so hard to me. I couldn't understand anything, and it was so like philosophy. It was so like intense, and I don't really like it. We need to read a lot. We need to think the same way like as other people, and I was like, no, this is not my thing, and I quit. I mean, I withdraw one class. So yeah, I got W, which is like withdraw is not going to be good on your transcript, but I don't care. And I think if I don't like it, I just like step out and try something new. So that's when I found my major, linguistics. And so my journey begins back then, like for real, like seriously, intensely, because in the class and linguistic class, we need to read a lots of article in English and we need to study with a foreign professor. So that's when I needed to speak English to communicate in English in the class and to do like a presentation, to form a group presentation, to do a project or things like that. So we use English a lot basically. And teacher were teaching us in English as well. So if you like don't work yourself or like don't put yourself in an environment where you need to do it or like where you it's like it's obligated for you, you know what I mean? Like you the only choice that you have is to be able to understand what teacher is saying. So you need to work harder and harder. So that's what I did back then. And yeah, so I felt like after, like during my study, my English was like a little better and I could understand what they say. Like I could speak English a little bit, I could communicate, but I would say that it was not that good at all. I mean, I couldn't do presentation without remembering like every word that I have on my script or things like that. So it was like most of the time I use my memory a lot to be able to pass or like to get through the class or the test or the presentations whatsoever. Yeah, and then after that I felt more confident and I applied for work and travel program. So basically this is the like the shifting moment or the shifting scenarios for me at that time because that's when I would get to be in a real environment where everybody speaks English, and I need to be there alone because I went there alone in United States, and I'll probably talk about that later. So basically, I went there for like almost 5 months, probably like 4 months and a half for work and travel, and then I came back and I knew myself that okay, my English is just like getting better and so much better, and I felt confident. And actually, the the shift was my mindset as well because I think that you don't need to be good like or like advanced or specialized in English, but if you look at English language or any other language as a tool to communicate, as long as you are able to communicate, so it's fine. You know what I mean? So you need to change mindset like your mindset a little bit to understand it first and then to learn the language and then to get in like blend in their culture, to learn about culture, to learn about people and not just language itself, you know. So that's when I felt like okay, I'm so glad that I went to United States. And after that, um, I was able to communicate in English, and I did some class or like I watched some YouTube in English. I listened to English music, so I would say that those things help a lot as well. Just try to surround yourself by English environment, and it's gonna be just like helpful. Even like today, you don't even understand anything that they say, or like you understand just like something, few things, whatever. But you know what? Like try harder and harder and then you'll get there, like I promise. And also the most important thing, and I think that's the thing that helped me a lot, like the huge improvement in my English proficiency is that I have been hanging out with foreign friends. I get to know someone and then make a connection and be with them, like surround myself with like English environment like that, like hanging out, having fun, and try to speak English in every day as much as you can. And yeah, like it's really helpful, and I got a lot of like new vocabularies like slang, idioms, or things like that from the real situation, not just in the book. You know what I mean? So I really encourage like everybody to go out and like find a community where you can speak English, because that's the most important thing. Even if you learn English by yourself, you will learn new vocabularies from the book, from the series, from the podcast, but it's not gonna be that, I mean, that realistic if you don't use it in your real life. You know what I mean? You need someone to talk to, and you need to be confident, and you need to be like, do not afraid to make mistake, because like I always tell my student in my job right now that, like, you know what, even I'm speaking English, even like I'm capable of speaking English and I'm confident, but also I still make mistake like all the time, and a lot if you can count. So I don't really care if it's not something about my job, or like if it's not something that I make other people in trouble or things like that. I try to be aware and try to be careful, but in a casual situation, like hanging out, having fun, like go out, travel, or like ordering food or things like that. Like whatever, English is just a tool. If you can get what you want, you use your body language, you use translation, no matter like which method is it, just try to use it and try to make it like, okay, even I make mistake, it's okay, it's fine. Like you learn from it and then you practice more and then you gotta listen. That's how you can improve your English skills, including like your communication skills, like speaking, listening. Yeah, just try to be in a real environment, be in a real scenario where you can speak English. And yeah, that's what's my tips, I think. Yeah, and I really want to change the culture. I really want to change the community where my best friend, where my friends like always texting me, okay, I want to learn English. I want to be able to speak English like you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, you can start now. I even said that you can speak English with me. Don't be shy, and don't be like you're afraid you're gonna make mistakes, things like that. No, that's what stop you from being good in English, you know? So yeah, I think that's my tips, like my tactics. I don't know, but I just want to share my journey and my experience. Yeah, and I hope that's gonna be helpful and gonna be beneficial to you guys who is listening to this right now. And yeah, be confident and try. You can reach out to me if you need any advice or if you need any like encouragement. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I'm good at that. I really want to change this culture, and I want our community, our society to be more like civilized. I don't know, because I would like to say, I mean, sometimes, especially now that I'm in my hometown, I see a lots of things, and I don't think it's a great community to be in or to grow up like that, you know, because nowadays English is really important, and we've been saying that for long, long time in Thailand, but no one really wants to change that, you know what I mean? So maybe it can be starting from a small part, like my friends or like whoever that want to do this and make a difference. You don't need to like get into the university to be able to speak English, or get a good like education to be able to speak English, or you don't need to go abroad to be able to speak English. Now we have an access, you have the internet, you can learn it by yourself and practice, and yeah. So I hope that's gonna be helpful. I don't know what to say next, but I'm glad that I made this happen, and I hope that I will make some difference here, even just a little bit. It's okay, it's fine for me. I just want to share my journey, and I want to tell you guys that it's not easy, but also it's not that hard if you want to do it. So yeah, thank you so much for today. If you want to ask me anything, you can contact me through my Instagram or reach out me at any platform. So yeah, thank you so much for listening until the end, and I hope you all have a great day and great night wherever you are, knowing that you're capable of doing anything that you want to and start now. Yeah, bye bye. XOXO.